Now, I'd like to welcome Dean Pan. Dean works as a high school teacher, as well as with Spinal Cord Injuries Australia, SCIA. He supports young people and their families in adjusting to life with a spinal cord injury. And he features on the SCI Healthcare Transition website videos where he reports on his experience with a spinal cord injury and provides expert tips to young people and parents and caregivers discussing his peer support work. Dean, welcome.
Hi, thanks, Emily. Just wanted to, just share a little bit about what I do at SCIA and stuff like that, and my involvement in the website. So, Emily, she basically contacted me and then just wanted to know just as much as she could about the peer support service that we do for pediatrics now, which is actually quite a new service. And it's been a gap in the system for quite a long time. And basically what peer support is when someone has lived experience with a similar condition to another person. So they become like a professional and they basically will meet with the person who has a spinal cord injury. So I've got a spinal cord injury, I've had it for 10 years, and I will meet with a person who has one, and then we'll just kind of walk alongside each other, theoretically, and just do life. And they'll often ask me questions and do that kind of thing. They might ask for advice, or I might ask them questions about how their bowel, bladder, and whatever else is going on, just because that's the kind of thing that a lot of people who have spinal cord injuries have to have a lot of close attention to. So I was involved in creating the website by going to Western Sydney University, and Emily and I did a lot of videoing and stuff, and she basically interviewed me and I was in front of the camera, and then we also went and did some B-roll footage and stuff like that. But to share a little bit about my transition, I basically found the navigating the transition a little bit overwhelming because I'd grown accustomed to just being in the hospital at Children's Hospital Westmead, and I'd been there for maybe 5 years, and then it became quite overwhelming when all of a sudden it was as though I was losing all of that support, and I had to swap all of those people with a completely different staff team, new doctors, new location, new everything. And that wasn't the only thing that was happening at the time, as what the other people were saying. I had only just got my license to drive. I was living out of home for the first time ever, and I was applying for work and I was applying for university. So it was a lot of things to actually consider during that time, and it was quite overwhelming. So I would have really benefited from a website like this, because it would just be awesome to be able to just hop on and just see exactly where all of the different support services are, to see some of the different flow charts and stuff like that, to see exactly which stage happens next. So it's not as overwhelming, but more predictable and more easy to understand. I would have very much benefited and used this website if I was 18 again. I also had a lot of help from an organization called Trapeze, which basically is like a transition program where they have a physio, an OT, and a social worker, and they helped me navigate that first year. But it was a short period of time, so I think as much autonomy that I would have been given through this website as possible would have been really helpful as well. So yeah. That's a little bit about me. Let me share a little bit about the peer support service as well. So because pediatrics peer support is quite new, what I currently do is I will either be hopping on telehealth sessions or reaching out to parents or the individual themselves if they're old enough. I've got a phone where I'll ring them and just check in and see how they're going, ask them all the questions about their health and stuff like that. But the main thing is the fact that I'm not giving advice from a clinical standpoint as if I was a doctor or a nurse, but from my own lived experience. Often people will ask me questions about what I do and how I overcome the struggles that both of us have gone through. and it's always from a lived experience standpoint rather than just a doctor saying this is what you should do. Yeah, and we currently also have a team that visit different hospitals in New South Wales, and we basically go to Prince of Wales, we go to other hospitals, and basically we just go and check on the spinal injury units and see how the patients in there are going, deliver peer support there. Yeah, that's a bit about peer support from Spinal Cord Injuries Australia. Yeah.